There are now structural changes that have occurred to our constitutional system and our republic that these men would object to. The Constitution they developed is not the Constitution that we follow today. It's honored in the breach. In some ways, it's honored specifically. But in too many ways, it's rejected. It's rejected by the very people who take an oath to uphold it, whether it's the President of the United States, whether it's members of Congress, whether it's Supreme Court justices in particular. We've moved so far away from this to where we are today. And it's been intentional, gradual, although it's speeding up. So this election is very, very crucial. But it's not enough. Even if we nominate, from my perspective, the one man in the race who understands this and get him elected president, don't get me wrong, that's a big achievement. In fact, in many ways it's daunting, but it's crucial. It's just not enough. You see, those men who met in Philadelphia, that Constitution they put together has another little provision in it called Article 5. Article 5 provides two processes for amending the Constitution. The framers of the Constitution knew that they created the very best governing document they could. But they also needed to have a way to adjust it. Not for the fun of it, not to destroy liberty, not to destroy the civil society, but to adjust it. Should the central government get out of control? Remember what I said, that was their greatest fear, centralized government. But they knew they needed some kind of centralized government. At first, Article 5 had a defect. It allowed for one way to amend the Constitution. In other words, the very people who would be oppressing, the very people in Congress and elsewhere in the federal government who would be abusing their power, they would be in control of whether or not to propose amendments to the Constitution. The Constitution's been amended 27 times in that process, 2/3 of both houses of Congress proposing amendments to the state legislatures or state convention, 3/4 of the states having to ratify. And so, on September 15, 1787, George Mason rises up. George Mason, as you know, the author of the Virginia Declaration of Rights. He rises up. He says, this isn't good enough, this Article 5. What if Congress should become tyrannical? What if the federal government's out of control? How will the people in the states be able to respond to that? And so he proposed that the states would have the power to get together. The states would have the power to get together, 2/3 of the states. And they would have the power to propose amendments, just like Congress would, with the same ratification process. All the state legislatures or convention of the states participating in order to ratify it. Today you would need 38 states. And work on our state representatives and state senators to do the right thing, to have a convention of states in order to propose amendments that will give us our power back, give the states their power back, and in the end, give us our liberty back.